Can be used in so many other ways besides on a wreath, and we'll talk about that. In fact, if you guys want to, in the comments, tell me other places that you've used bows besides in a wreath. Here is my Easy Bow Maker colors and this ribbon bundle. This is a lot of fun. And one misconception when we make bows is we think that we need to have them, the colors staggered like so. But you know, you get a total different look when you stack the same colors next to each other. So I'm going to try and explain that just a little bit more here in a moment. But these are the 5 ribbons that come in this particular ribbon bundle that we pinned down in the comments. And look at how fun these colors are together. That actually is a great spring color combination or even summer. Okay. All right, so for this one, I'm going to show you a couple of different things. And I'm going to make just a round bow, just a circular bow. And I'm going to start out with this 2.5-inch ribbon and make a 6-inch loop. And you'll notice that I'm not smashing my ribbon down. I'm not laying it flat. I'm leaving it kind of fluffy there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 4 loops, 2 on each side, both the same length. So 6-inch, 6-inch loops. I'm going to make this tail also 6-inch and snip that guy off.
Your 10-minute timer on Family Room Echo is read.
My timer's going off. Alexa,
Your 10-minute timer
stop.
on Family Room
Alexa,
Echo
stop.
read.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's do the next one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come out to the 6-inch mark, give it a little twist, go down there. And this one is also going to be 6 inches in length. What you need?
Can I go get a snack?
Yes, you can. And a couple of loops here. So this one's just going to be kind of like a round bow.
Here, there's one left.
Oh, look, he brought me the last Fritos. He thought he ate the last one yesterday. And I told him I love Fritos. I will tell you, this boy is probably one of the most generous. A while back, I don't know, a couple months ago, Uncle Gary and him were out doing errands. This one's going to go 5 inches, by the way. And Uncle Gary texted me, and I was with Emma. And he said, hey, do you guys want something from Dairy Queen? So I was giving Uncle Gary my Dairy Queen order, and Gary tells Eli, now remember, Eli can't hear me. He doesn't know what I'm saying, or he doesn't know what Uncle Gary said, but Uncle Gary said, Eli, you want to go to Dairy Queen and get some ice cream? Eli said, no, Emma's not with us, and I don't want her to miss out. He is such a sweet kid. Sweet kid. I'm telling you. I mean, how many kids would say that? Is that not the sweetest thing ever? And then he brings me the last bag of Fritos because he knew that I liked them. I love that child. Okay. Going back to making a bow. I don't know why I dovetailed just that one, but I just did anyway. But do you notice how I am maneuvering so I can see every ribbon in between, right? I can see this purple one on the bottom, that green, that fuchsia, and now lavender. So as I go in shorter and shorter on my loops, I want to be able to see the ribbon below it. And that really helps with making that stunning bow, right? So this bow ribbon bundle comes with all 5 of these rolls of ribbon. Check this out. And look at what kind of bow this is making. Let's do the last one. And remember, this ribbon bundle has that 7/8 inch ribbon in it that we all love. Terry, I agree. I agree. He is. Him and his sister both. They, they're typical kids. They, typical kids. They banter. They banter like kids do. But they're great. All right. So the 7/8 inch, I'm doing a loop. A loop. Oops, that twisted back on me. There we go. And for this one, I'm just going to do a single loop in the center. And we're just going to keep that simple. Now, when it comes to tying off the bow, you can use several different things. I like to use floral wire, specifically 22 gauge floral wire. Some people prefer to use pipe cleaners, and some people prefer to use zip ties. If you are beginning at bow making, I really suggest a zip tie, because a zip tie can help you get that bow really, really tight. If you're more experienced at it, definitely, and you can make that tight bow when you pull it off your bow maker, definitely we can try floral wire or pipe cleaner. And usually I have to tie a couple of pipe cleaners together to get the length I need. Where the floral wire, I just cut about 24 inches, depending on what I'm attaching it to. And I'll lay that right there on top of that bow maker, on top of that bow. And now I'm going to start lifting off. So I'm going to find my pegs and kind of squeeze it together as I'm lifting up off the bow maker. Grab those wires, lift, turn it over, and I give it a couple of good twists. 1, 2. Beautiful. Look at that beautiful bow. I'm not going to worry about dovetailing it right now because we're going to go right into a second version of this bow. Take it and step it up a notch. So I chose, let's see, I wanted to see what flowers I had in the Blooms and Greenery box and what would go. So this is in the Blooms and Greenery box, the spring edition. That would be fun with these florals. If you have this Blooms and Greenery box, that means you also have the cone flowers. Look at how beautiful those go. I like that. Ooh. I'm looking for lighter flowers, not real, not a big bush, but see how these are kind of a lighter filler flower. So let's look at those two. I also brought this one because I thought it might go nice, but this one goes super well with it. This is from the spring edition of the Blooms and Greenery box. So let's show how we can integrate florals into this design. And by the way, a bow like this is easy to add to your mailbox post, a lamp post, your handrail, right? But look out what would happen if you added it just to a lantern. See how fun that is, just adding it to a lantern? And now we've changed the whole look of that lantern by adding some color to it. Now let's do this with some florals and see what it looks like. And this time, let's integrate some florals, and we're going to change up this bow a little bit. I'm going to start again with my 2.5 inch ribbon. But this time, I'm going to start my loop. I'm going to come out to the 6 inch mark. We're going to do another 6 inch bow. 2 loops on each side. Let me get that up there so you can see it. 2, and there we go. So we've got 1 loop, 1 loop, 1 loop, 1 loop. Cut that off. Now, at this point is where I can start adding some floral. So if I want to integrate, I'm just going to rip that, separate that right there, and start laying in some florals. This is just a filler floral, and I'm going to cut off that stem so it's not super long, but I want them to go out past my ribbon edge. See how that's just a little bit longer than the edge of my ribbon? And this is bendable, so if I need to adjust it later, I can do so. But this time, I'm going to put the fuchsia right on top of this color. And watch what happens, what it does to the look of our bow. Just by simply changing up the order in which you put your ribbon in can make a whole different looking bow. So this time, I'm also going to try and keep this at 6 inches. We're going to do a couple of loops there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, oh, I think Uncle Gary's home. There we go. So now we're going to bring in our lavender. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add some more of these florals in here because I want some of these blooms. So I'm going to take out a section of this, trim a little bit off, lay that right there. Another section over here. Okay, look at that. Added some more. Now I'm going to add purple next, or the lavender. The wedding was beautiful. The trip was back. I bet you're normal for me. Car broke down first day. Nola, no way. Aw. Didn't stop until I go. I don't blame you. You're like, not happening again, right? You were going, just get me home. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Girl, I swear you've got the luck. We need to say the luck of an Irishman, but that's not your case. But no bubble wrap was needed. That's awesome. Glad to hear that. Let me see. I think I want to switch this around. Do that one there and that one there. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to put the green one next. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I love that for you. Okay. I had to roll that up a little bit. So we're going to add this green one next. And if you have a ribbon that you want to stand out more than another, the best way to do that is to put that ribbon closer to the top. And you can use more of it. So instead of, like, if I wanted the green to be more prominent on this bow, I can do 3 loops on each side rather than 2 loops on each side. And it will make this bow, make this ribbon stand out a little more prominent. But just by bringing it towards the top, is making it stand out more. So there's different ways that you can manipulate your bows to really work for you. All right, before I add this, we're going to add just a couple more of these delicate blooms in here. So let me add those. Let me give them a little snip. I don't need them super long. There's one and another one right there. Now we're going to add that 7/8 inch ribbon in here. And this time, I'm going to do a loop. We're going to do 2 loops on each side. Remember the last bow, we only did 1 loop on each side. And of course, that last one doesn't need a twist to it. All right, so now let's snip that off. Let's take our zip tie, and I'm using a zip tie on this one because we have all of those florals in there, and we want to make sure that those have a nice tight seat when we get done with them. So I'm going to take a zip tie, but I also am going to have loaded on deck either a pipe cleaner or some floral wire to slide in to that zip tie. So on this bow, we used just floral wire and we had twisted that around the base, and now we can use this to attach it to whatever. But when we use a zip tie, it doesn't have a way to attach it. So we're going to add that. In this case, I'm going to add a pipe cleaner. Let's lift this up. Slide that zip tie in there. And come around. Boom, boom. And of course, it twisted in there. So hang on a second. Let me get it back. Okay. There we go. I think I got it that time. Oh, no, I didn't. Hang on. Let's see if I get it to zip right this time. I still have it twisted. Don't you hate that? Let's not lose the momentum here. Get all my bow back in there. I feel pretty confident I got it this time. I do. All right, so as I'm lifting, I'm kind of tightening up on that zip tie, but I'm not going to tighten it up all the way yet. So I'm going to bring that zip tie around the back. I'm also going to make sure that none of my ribbon shifted and twisted while I was removing it. So I want all of my ribbon facing the right way before I tighten it completely. And I'm going to insert that pipe cleaner in there so that when I tighten this, I have that pipe cleaner to use to attach to whatever. All right, let's go ahead and tighten that up as tight as I possibly can, because remember, we have all those florals in there and I don't want them to slide out by any means. So I go as tight as I can with that zip tie, cut it off, and now I have the pipe cleaner to use to tie it onto something. So now we have that beautiful bow. Pretty this is. Let me get my, with those florals in it. How fun. And of course, we're going to rearrange them like so and get them all kind of spread out. Now watch what happens when we bring it on the front side. So if we take this and attach it to our lantern, look at now what the difference it did when we add it to our lantern with those florals. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Maybe. There we go. So look at the florals in there on that lantern. Isn't that pretty? Greenery, that floral in there can make a huge difference in taking your bow from everyday to special day. And I just used one of the picks from our Blooms and Greenery box, and it made a beautiful bow. Beautiful bow. All right, guys, I'm going to go catch up with my husband and see what's happened with his day. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. See you soon. Have a good one.